Did center just forget to descend you or something?
Oh yeah, big time.
It's my dad's turn this time, and here at the Westchester County Airport, as usual, he's waiting for his breeze flight to Vero Beach, and today is an IROPS day. His inbound aircraft from Vero Beach couldn't land at Westchester due to heavy storms. It diverted to Providence and had to make a recovery flight back to Westchester so he could board at 10:20 p.m. Scheduled departure time, 7:40 p.m.
Okay, finally made it aboard Breeze Flight 581, non-stop service from HPN to Vero Beach. This has been quite a day. The plane was supposed to leave at 7:40. It's going to leave like at 10:40, at least 3 hours late tonight. That's no fault of Breeze, but it's been a terribly, terribly bad day here in New York. Lots and lots of storms, just cleared up. This plane, which left Vero Beach at 4:05 in the afternoon, actually diverted to Providence after doing about a 30-40 minute hold off the coast of Jersey, and nobody could land. So they landed a few minutes ago. We're on board now. The route's going to take us inland a little bit, Biggie, I believe, and we will probably arrive at Vero Beach at around 1:30 in the morning. That's the way it's going to be. But again, no fault of Breeze, but just a terrible, terrible weather day here in the Northeast.
Not much is ideal. This flight was supposed to take off in daylight conditions. It's dark out and the windows are wet. And tonight's initial fix is Biggie, keeping this A220 further away from Manhattan. In any case, let's get the clearance to push back.
Ground Moxie 581, gate 4 Lima, pushback.
Moxie 581, push approved.
Push approved, Moxie 581.
The view will get better. With water on the window, lights on in the cabin, and lights on the ramp, it's hard to focus. Using the call sign Moxie 581, the aircraft is moving backwards. Once the plane comes to a stop, the tug is removed, the engines are started, and it's time to contact Westchester Ground Control for taxi clearance to the active runway.
Ground Moxie 581, ready taxi.
Moxie 581, Westchester Ground Runway 16, taxi Alpha.
16 via Alpha, Moxie 581.
Finally, the interior cabin lights are off. This makes it so much easier to film. The controller told Moxie 581 to taxi to the active departure runway, runway 16, via taxiway Alpha. It's a standard routing and doesn't take much time. That's good because this flight is experiencing a big delay already. The departure procedure calls for the aircraft to climb on heading 163 to 800 feet MSL, then turn right to a heading of 320 degrees and climb to an initial altitude of 3,000 feet to stay clear of arrivals to LaGuardia above from the north at 4,000 feet. It's nearly a complete U-turn to the northwest. Typically, any flight down to Florida would receive radar vectors by the controller to the white intersection, which would mean that the controller would vector the aircraft southbound near the Hudson River, but due to weather along the white route, tonight's initial departure fix will be Biggie. Biggie is located near Stockton, New Jersey, along the Garden State's border with Pennsylvania along the Delaware River. A seat on the left side of the plane was chosen since the default departure fix of white normally allows for Manhattan views on the left-hand side. Biggie leads to a more inland route, so Manhattan should still be on the left, but further away. We'll listen into the tower in a moment. The tower will issue this flight clearance for takeoff with Moxie 595 from Raleigh-Durham, another Breeze A220 on a 7-mile final. You'll hear that pilot get landing clearance and broadcast the words disconnect, disconnect inadvertently on the radio. JetBlue Flight 914, which pays homage to Westchester's area code, will be heard waiting for a gate and asking for someone's lights to be dimmed, and the tower will mention that they'll be going home in a few minutes. Then, all aircraft will have to self-announce on the frequency. Moxie 595 will again confirm its landing clearance. Let's get ready to go to Vero.
Moxie 581, Westchester, are you ready?
Ready, Moxie 581.
Moxie 581, traffic company on a 7-mile final, wind 1305, runway 16, clear for takeoff.
16, clear for takeoff, Moxie 581.
Moxie 595, tower, you here?
595, LS 16.
Moxie 595, wind 1305, runway 16, clear to land.
16, clear to land. Disconnect, disconnect.
JetBlue 914, say again.
Yeah, they said we're holding for gauge JetBlue 914.
Roger, tower closed in about 8 minutes, so you'll be CTAF for that.
JetBlue 914. Can you tell the ground guy on the right side to lower the lights, please?
Mobile repositioning for the kilo pad. You got your lights on, pointing southbound. Apparently I cannot.
Alright, copy.
Is there an ops vehicle in the kilo pad with your headlights on?
And Westchester, Moxie 595, we're cleared to lane.
A firm, Moxie 595, wind 1404, runway 16, clear to lane.
16 cleared to lane, Moxie 595.
It's time to start the right turn. Typically around this point, the tower controller would hand off this flight to the next controller, the departure controller, located in a radar room out on Long Island at the New York TRACON, but no transmission is heard from the controller. The pilot is actively listening to the tower frequency, expecting the handoff, but since the controller does not proactively tell Moxie 591 to switch frequencies, the pilot asks for the handoff.
Hey, well, Moxie 581 over to departure.
A firm, Moxie 581, contact New York departure 120.8.
Good night, Moxie 581 over to departure.
120.8 is the frequency to switch to tonight. The controller here handles flights to and from Westchester as well as other flights in the vicinity. When we check in, there are no flights at 4,000 feet, so clearance will be given to 10,000 feet and a heading of 260 degrees will be issued.
Departure Moxie 581 over 2,000, climbing 3,000 in the Westchester area.
Moxie 581 New York, radar contact, climb and maintain 10,000, fly heading 260.
260 up 10,000, Moxie 581.
The 260 degree heading is a radar vector toward Biggie. The tip of the wing provides a great view of White Plains. That was a nice view of White Plains, New York, but the star of a Westchester departing flight to the south is always the Manhattan view. 260 degrees brings us to the west, and we ideally want a 230 degree turn or so to proceed southbound along the Hudson's west bank, but that's not going to happen tonight, and there are periodic clouds. It's better than what was there earlier, which caused this delay, however. In a few moments, we'll be crossing the Hudson River, and Manhattan should appear at a distance under the wing. I can't promise the best views due to the distance, but hopefully it'll be something. The controller is now going to talk to a private aircraft that's approaching the Westchester County Airport.
New York, Chrono 365, 84 to cross Nobby at 6, and we have the weather at White Plains.
Chronos 365 New York approach, good evening, and fly your present heading, altimeter 3009.
Present heading, Chrono 365.
We're now approaching the Hudson River. It's now time to receive clearance to Biggie, our initial departure fix. Let's get that clearance now.
Moxie 581, proceed direct to Biggie and maintain 15,000.
Direct Biggie climb 15,000, Moxie 581.
As we turn and proceed to Biggie, we can also climb to 15,000 feet. The dark area that you see at the bottom of the screen under the wing is the Hudson River. If you follow the Hudson River southbound, eventually on the left bank, you should see the island of Manhattan with all of its tall skyscrapers. However, conditions this evening are really not that favorable for the city views because there are clouds just south of Westchester County over the Bronx and Manhattan and Queens today. So unfortunately today, the Manhattan view is not going to happen. Here come the remaining transmissions on this frequency, including the handoff for us to switch over to the next controller.
Jet 703, I have you loud and clear in Helmy. And catch at 703 shouldn't be a problem. The frequency will be 126.4 for your release. Hold for release for now. Chronos 365, change my frequency 126.4. Moxie 581, contact departure 118.1, I'm sorry, yeah, 11817 for you.
Okay, 11817 Moxie 581, you have a good night.
Unfortunately, the bright lights are obstructed by the clouds down there. You can see the Hudson River separating New Jersey and New York, and you can even see the George Washington Bridge spanning the river, but anything south of it is immersed. We're not extremely close like we normally would be when going to the White intersection, but Manhattan would have been visible if the clouds were not there. We do have great views here, however, of Englewood, Fort Lee, Palisades Park, and Ridgefield Park in New Jersey. If you want to see great Manhattan views, go back and check out some of my previous videos where my dad or I fly in the same route and get radar vectors to the White intersection. Eventually, this flight entered the clouds and things started to look like this. What do you do when you can't see out? Well, you could wait for the approach when things will be better, or you could take advantage of a special offer designed for viewers of this channel. So let's take a quick break and see what I have to offer for you. With all the traveling I do, I find myself just sitting for hours on an airplane, and I need a way to make up for that. So I use my Yesol G1M Plus for a regular cardio workout. A breeze to put together, and at a great price point, this is the best stationary bike I've ever had. With so much time spent sitting, this is a great fit for my lifestyle, and using it doesn't take me away from what I need to do. It's all about fun cardio, as this bike features wired multimedia casting, making a typical cardio workout transformed into something enjoyable. I mean, who doesn't enjoy watching Peter Masella's YouTube channel while working out? I know I certainly watch my channel all the time, even when I'm not working out, because the screen rotates 360 degrees, so I can watch the screen when not sitting on the bike. I love having an additional screen in my home in a place where I normally would not have one. What a great feature! Working out and enjoyment go hand in hand with Yesol. As a traveler, I love this feature, which allows me to feel like I'm biking abroad. And when I want to take things very seriously, I just tune into instructor-led courses. I always leave it to the pros to tell me what to do. I'm an expert as an airline passenger, but I'm not an expert trainer. And statistics are always available to me. These are some fantastic metrics that provide me with the right information at the right time. And I'm not the only one who uses Yesol.
Hey, this is Peter Sr. here. I'm using Yesol on a regular basis, and let me tell you, it's working wonders for me as well.
That's right, my dad loves using this product. After all, he also sits on airplanes a lot and needs the cardio workout. He's especially fond of the 4-speaker system and 2 subwoofers for exceptional sound quality. As a viewer of this channel, you can take advantage of my discount code in the description below. It's exceptionally affordable. Imagine watching Netflix or the news or airplane videos while biking or at any angle. What a deal this is.
That's right, you heard it. You can get a great discount with my code.
You just gotta do it. But for now, let's return to today's video. It's time to move forward to the approach into Vero Beach tonight, as there wasn't much to see in the en route phase of flight. This flight will be handled by 3 facilities while descending: Miami Air Route Traffic Control Center, Palm Beach Approach Control, and the Vero Beach Common Traffic Advisory frequency, since the tower is closed at this late hour. This is where things start to get interesting. We begin the descent to Vero Beach with the High Altitude Center Controller. Now, as for ATC, I was unable to hear the pilot, but I did hear the response of the controller when the flight checked in with Miami Center. Here it is.
Moxie 581, Miami Center, roger.
4 minutes later, Moxie 581 is cleared to descend to 15,000 feet and is given the local Vero Beach altimeter setting.
Moxie 581 is set to maintain 15,000, altimeter 3000.
Now, 7 minutes later, this flight is cleared down to 6,000 feet. This clearance was given while north of the Vero Beach Airport, about 12 minutes prior to the time that the flight was supposed to land. Today's landing runway is runway 30 left, and we can make either left or right traffic to the runway via the RNAV runway 30 left approach. A right turn would be more efficient, since it would not require the flight to pass south of the airport and then make left turns back around over to land.
Moxie 581 is set to maintain 6,000.
And just a few minutes after that, the flight is handed off to Palm Beach Approach Control.
Moxie 581, contact Palm Beach Approach 123.62.
Now, it might not be that apparent to you, but there is a problem. The descent clearance to 6,000 feet came way too late. Once Moxie 581 checks in with the approach controller, he's going to request extended vectors south of the airport to a fix south of the airport to make left traffic because we're way too high right now to land.
Approach Moxie 581, 10,000, descending down to 6,000. Requesting extended vectors and the RNAV Yankee 30 left, starting at Sunday for Vero Beach, Moxie 581.
Moxie 581, Palm Beach Bridge, good evening. Descend to maintain 2,000, present heading vector for your descent. And just let me know when you want that turn direct Sunday.
All right, 2,000 pressing heading for that descent, and then we'll let you know direct Sunday. Moxie 581, thank you.
We're cleared down to 2,000 feet, and the controller is shocked that we're so high, and he asks if the Miami Center controller forgot to descend this flight as the airport's only 5 miles away, and we're at 10,000 feet right now.
Did Center just forget to descend you or something? Do they not know that Vero Beach is at your 10 o'clock in 5 miles? It's 10,000 feet descent?
Oh, yeah, big time.
Oh yeah, big time all right. Miami Center forgot to descend this flight until the last minute, and this is going to cause the flight to be longer. We need to get a lot lower from 10,000 feet to land. That's the Vero Beach Airport down there. You can see the runway, and we're supposed to land on it from the other direction from over the water in the distance. We could have been lower and on the east side of the airport, making a right turn to land on runway 30 left, but the controller forgot to descend us, so we'll have to go south, all the way down to Fort Pierce before we can turn around and land. Now, the pilot asked for extended vectors, of course, and wants to start the RNAV approach to runway 30 left at Sunday. Sunday is a point on the approach that's southeast of the final approach course over the water across from Fort Pierce shores. Once it's Sunday, the plane will turn left to 28 degrees on a left base leg to a point called Puma, also over the water, where the plane will turn left to line up with the runway on a 298-degree heading and land. Sunday and Puma are to be crossed at 2,000 feet, which is the altitude that we were given. It's just going to take some time to get there. Those bright lights down there form the city of Vero Beach. Unfortunately, we have to leave the Vero Beach area here and come back into it once we make our turn around Fort Pierce. If we were lower, as we should have been, we would have been turning left by now and then swing around to land on runway 30 left, but for some reason, the previous controller just forgot to descend us. This flight is already delayed and no one wants to fly unnecessary miles to get to the airport. I just don't know what happened. In preparation for getting to Sunday, the controller is going to issue a turn to the left, which will bring the plane closer to the ocean at Fort Pierce.
Moxie 581, flighting 150.
150, Moxie 581.
This new heading points the nose of the plane toward Fort Pierce. We're going to a point that would be a 30-minute drive from the Vero Beach Airport. We'll move forward now to approaching Fort Pierce, where the pilot says he's ready for the approach.
Approach Moxie 581, can we start taking the turn to Sunday?
Yes, sir. Moxie 581, turn left direct Sunday, cross Sunday at or above 2,000. Cleared RNAV, runway 30 left into Vero Beach.
All right, left turn towards Sunday, cross Sunday at or above 2,000, clear for the RNAV 30 left into Vero, Moxie 581, thank you.
That's Fort Pierce down there. It's in a different county than Vero Beach. We're now clear for the approach, which is a curved approach. We're proceeding to Sunday, just off the shoreline. Upon reaching Sunday, it's just a series of left-hand turns all the way to the runway. We'll maintain the 2,000-foot altitude until Puma when we can start our descent. In the distance, we can see the lights of Vero Beach. We'll be there in a few minutes. Traffic is light here over Florida's Treasure Coast, but there's an air rescue helicopter that the controller sees on his radar. This chopper is headed for the helipad at Cleveland Clinic Indian River Hospital, which is near the final approach course to runway 30 right at Vero Beach. Although our flight is headed toward runway 30 left, this might be a factor, and the controller is going to check with no success to see if this air rescue flight is on his frequency.
Air Rescue 1, Palm Beach Approach, are you monitoring by chance?
There's no response, but this chopper will not affect us. We're about to get clear for the approach to the airport now. The controller will point out the chopper, which by now has touched down. Because the tower is closed, we'll have to cancel our flight plan after landing, and we'll switch over to the airport's traffic advisory frequency.
Moxie 581, I do have some VFR helicopter traffic. They touched down, it looks about a half mile off the approach end of runway 30 right. So it doesn't look like they're on your final, but 30 right, they appear to be touched down. ADSP showing us an Air Rescue 1, it's a medevac helicopter. You can cancel your IFR via the ground control frequency after you land. Change to advisory frequency is approved. Have a good night.
All right, we'll cancel on the ground. To Unicom approved, Moxie 581, thank you.
All right, it's now time to check in and self-announce our position with the airport.
Vero Beach traffic, Moxie 581 on extended left base for runway 30 left, Vero Beach.
Moxie also wants to make sure that the air rescue chopper will be clear of the approach path.
Air rescue, are you going to be clear of 30 left in about 2 minutes?
Yeah, we're already on the ground.
The chopper is already on the ground, so it's not a factor. Since the tower is closed, our pilot activates the airport lighting system with rapid clicks on his microphone. It's important that our pilot always announce his position. The truth is that since the chopper landed at Cleveland Clinic, there's no traffic, but you never know if a flight may be initiating at the airport. Now that we're joining the final approach course, the pilot also mentions it on the radio.
Service traffic, Moxie 581 joining final for runway 30 left, Vero.
The airport and runway are dead ahead of us now. We just passed Puma, which means that we can now descend below 2,000 feet. The next waypoint is called Zorro, and we'll cross it at 1,500 feet. After Zorro, we can descend to the runway. The pilot will self-announce his position a few more times before landing. Landing can't come sooner enough. The scheduled arrival time was 10:30 p.m. It's now 1:30 a.m. Like my dad said at the beginning of this video, the delay is no fault of Breeze. This airplane was supposed to land at White Plains at 7 p.m. and depart with him on board at 7:40, but with heavy storms at the airport, a diversion to Providence was necessary. Then the plane flew from Providence to White Plains to pick up Dad, and here he is now, sleepy and on final approach to runway 30 left at Vero Beach. What an evening. He should have landed 10 minutes earlier, but that Miami Center controller was late in issuing descent clearance. 10 minutes, of course, isn't much in the big scheme of things, but every dollar of fuel counts. And today, lots of fuel was used for many flight paths that were not expected. It's an irregular operations, or IROPS day, but situations like these happen more often than you'd think. And this is not the very first time we've landed at Vero Beach on this flight this late. It's just something that you need to expect and be prepared for, and that applies to flying really anywhere these days. We're now approaching the barrier island of the Florida coastline, and we'll spend a brief period over the land before touchdown. The pilot is about to come back and self-announce his position. He says that he's on short final, but in my opinion, it's really not short final, since he'll come back and report his position 2 more times before landing.
Service traffic, Moxie 581. We're on short final for runway 30 left, Vero.
We still have some time to go. Before we land, I want to give a special shout out to my Patreon members. Your support is greatly appreciated. That's you, Simon Weber and Luca Presti. To learn more about how you can support this channel on Patreon, visit patreon.com/Peter Masella. Supporting this channel helps videos like these coming. We're getting close to landing. I'll let you listen into the engine sounds and the final 2 airborne announcements from the flight deck before touchdown on runway 30 left. Enjoy the landing.
Traffic, Moxie 581, 3 mile final, 30 left, full stop, Moxie. Vero Beach traffic. Traffic, Moxie 581, 1 mile final for runway 30 left, full stop, Vero.
Okay, we're on the ground here at the Vero Beach Regional Airport. Listen to the welcome announcement from the flight attendant and note the time of arrival.
Welcome to Vero Beach, where the local time is approximately 1:32 a.m.
Now, I don't have the audio, but the pilot is about to cancel his flight plan and taxi to the ramp. It was a long day, with the delay being longer than the flight. Considering the fact that my dad arrived at the airport 2 hours before the flight, he's been in an aviation environment for around 8 hours. Some may think it's a nuisance, but the way to look at it is the privilege of being able to do this. Well, the video ends here. Thank you so much for watching, and please consider subscribing to this channel if you haven't done so already, so you don't miss the next one. See you all soon on an airliner.